Welcome to Boosted Motorsports, you guys. Today's video, we're going to be going over all the things that are going on in this Dodge garage with all the Hellcat swaps, trucks, the Hell Ram, Hellcoda, all that stuff. So I've been working away the last few days, you guys, just tons and tons of stuff going on behind the scenes. And I've been trying to wrap stuff up. So if you guys remember, we took apart the 5.9 liter Magnum engine. I ended up keeping the block. I put it away in a Tupperware that's going to be saved with the SST Ram, so the 97 SST Ram 1500 we have. These heads, I'm not too sure what to do with them just yet, but I've got a bunch of parts. I got the mopar valve covers and all that kind of stuff. What I am doing over there, if you're wondering, is the Hellcat supercharger I am rebuilding. So if you guys recall, we installed the Hellcat engine into our Ram 1500, and this Hellcat blower was making a little bit of noise, so I took it all apart and investigated it, and I'm replacing the front bearings. The back bearings are good. I actually checked the oil. There's no material in it, so this was the original supercharger oil. It's nice and clean, clear, no chunks. There was nothing on the magnets, so that's a good sign. What it ended up being was this pulley here. It's a fixed pulley, so it's actually, even though it looks like a factory pulley, it's a lower pulley. And what it does is the factory pulley has a slip incorporated into it, and these ones are just solid fixed. So what happens is there's something called a Metco chatter, and it essentially wears out these cups right here, these isolator cups, and you get a chatter, so you get a little bit of noise there. I think that's most of where my noise was coming from, but just out of precaution, I went and upgraded the bearings. The original bearings are actually not even really rated for the factory speeds with a stock pulley, so took out the old bearings, upgraded them, doing all that. And in the process, I ended up porting this bearing plate. I figured since it's off, I might as well. So you can see I cleaned up all this. I'll also put on the screen what it looks like stock. It doesn't have the airfoil on it normally. It's just got a flat knockout on there, so that impedes airflow. And then all of these points here, you can see I sharpened them and made them to flow a lot better, but I didn't want to compromise strength. So I didn't take out a whole lot of material, but just enough to improve the airflow, kind of channel the air in different areas. Like I said, made all these so that the air can flow nicely over top of these supporting vanes. And then here I really worked this so that it could flow air here into this rotor and then that rotor, because before this was just a dead flat spot. As far as other things, the Hellcat swap Dakota, it's kind of been blocked in by this because we took out the drive shaft to send it out to get it rebalanced or have the balance rechecked on it after we swapped out our flange. So that's in the box. It just showed up. We're going to take that out. So I will be taking this out for you guys, checking everything, testing everything. You guys saw the other video. We fixed the power steering. So I checked it all here. There's no more leaks here in the garage, but I haven't really driven it since then. So what I want to do today is let's take out that drive shaft, double check that it's good, and get it in the truck and talk a little bit more about the other Dakota and the SST as well. All right, boys, well, here she is. So she is back in her entirety, and we're gonna go ahead and throw this thing back in. Unfortunately, I don't have any information for you. I didn't receive any information, so I have no idea how out of whack it was or wasn't, which you'd think I would, but nothing came with it. So I do notice that there is additional weights on here though. So it does look like they did have to do some additional balancing, because I don't recall this one. I don't remember seeing this like a polished looking weight on here. So something I think was adjusted slightly. So either way, we should be good. I'll update you guys. I guess I'm gonna have to call this place and ask them whether it was a big waste of time or whether it actually needed to be rebalanced or rechecked. So I'll let you guys know that, but as of right now, you guys know what I know, which is nothing. So I'm gonna get that in just a sec, but before we lose light, what you guys can expect to see is, I know a lot of people wanna check on the Dakota, what's going on with this thing, what the deal is with it. I did wash it, so you'll see it does look a heck of a lot better than when we first picked it up. And it actually doesn't look that bad, you guys. Like from 5 feet away, it's just a half decent looking truck. I do have headlights that we will be replacing, so we'll be cleaning everything up, polishing it. This more than likely is gonna be a just slight fixer-upper that we're gonna work on. We're gonna clean it up, fix it up, get it looking right, and then we're probably going to sell it here in a few months. So if you guys are interested in something that you can make your own Hellcoda, you might have that option to do so. Hit me up if you're interested. I will be checking the engine, so that's what you guys are going to expect to see in the next few days. is we're hopefully going to see why this engine is making a little bit of noise. Hopefully it's just a lifter or something like that, but I'm going to see if I can or can't get to the bottom of it without completely ripping the engine apart, because right now it's a functioning truck, so I don't want to completely disable it and like pull the whole timing cover and all that stuff. But that's that situation. And as for the SST, because I know there's a lot of boys on the SST, it's the other thing that you guys are going to see here coming up within the next week or so is we have our brackets. So I started to get ready for our Hemi brackets. So I'm going to be test fitting the Hemi engine in here. We've got our brackets from Hooker Blackheart, and I'm going to see if I can get them to work or if they are already a direct bolt-in. I'll have that information for you guys soon, because I know right now, as far as I know, nobody offers a engine mount for a Gen 3 Hemi into one of these second gens. So hopefully I'll have some news for you guys there. I just test fitted them. They do fit into the horns on the frame, so that's a good sign. Just not sure on the placement of the engine and all that, but we can do that easily enough pretty soon here. I just gotta wrap up, like I said, the Hellcat Ram and get that moved out of the way so that we can start getting some other projects pulled in. If you're wondering about the engine block, what I did was I just picked up one of these totes and I threw the engine block in here. So this is the matching engine block for this 97 SST. Yes, if you're new to the channel, it does look a little bit horrendous, but this is a 21,000 mile original clean title SST. As crazy as that is, somebody blew it up and then just never drove it again and let it sit to rot. So there you go, 21,000 miles. I did purchase a Carfax for this thing, verified everything. It's actually an SST, and these are the actual miles, but somebody just got pissed off at this thing when it grenaded. I kind of feel for them though. I was kind of thinking too, like, imagine you spent a bunch of money at a shop to have your pretty much new truck at the time modified. So this thing went to, I think this time slip in here was from like 99 or something like that. It's got the time slip from Orlando Speed World in here, and it went like a 13, and it might have been the last time this truck was ever running, because I remember the time slips were in here. Let's take a look at the date on here. Orlando Speed World. Yeah, the 3rd of September, 99. And so the common speed on all these time slips is like a high 13, 13.7, 13.9. Yeah, so 9689 is the same car or vehicle on all three of these. So it was running a 13.9 on all passes. So it definitely wasn't going fast, but I think that might have been when this thing finally gave up. But think about this for a second and put yourself in somebody's shoes. If you had a 97 SST and you were in 99, so the truck's only 2 years old, you paid a shop to do a ton of work to it, supercharged, full standalone engine management. They obviously put different heads on it, they put roller rockers on it, the 1.6s, did a bunch of stuff, exhaust, intake, M1, all the works. You spend a bunch of money and then they didn't build the bottom end and just grenaded the whole truck. You'd probably be pissed off, and maybe that's part of the reason why the guy just parked it. I don't know. Comment down below if you guys think that makes sense, but to me it kind of makes sense in my mind. So let me go ahead and get this drive shaft in here quick, and then we can fire this puppy up, which we haven't heard running for a while. Okay, so it is the next day, but just before we start this up and actually start up a bunch of things, next order of business is I finally want to match the wheels on this. It's just something that's been kind of killing my OCD here for a little bit. So I've got the 24-inch Hellcat wheels in the front, got the 22 SRT 10s on the back. I'm going to take these off. I've got the other 24-inch Hellcats over there. We're going to throw them on, take these off. That way I can stow them away. This thing at least can look normal while it's sitting here parked. And then I'm going to rearrange the shop here and get your guys' feedback. Because right now, before I had 3 vehicles parked on an angle here. Right now I only have 2, so it's kind of occupying a little bit of space. So my plan is we'll get this looking right for a minute, put this over there, put 3 vehicles here, and then we can bring in an extra vehicle in the shop. All right, wheels are on. That's a much better look. Now let's fire up every single vehicle so I can reorganize.
Yeah, the biggest, baddest one first. Let's go.
Well, that was uneventful. Let's start something cooler up. Well, that thing sounded a lot better than the last one. Let's see how this one sounds. Okay, let's get a little Viper powered SRT 10 action going. All right, last but not least, this thing, it never gets captured properly on camera, but sounds absolutely insane. All right, boys, we got the whole gang in here. So we got the Hellcat Ram, we got the Dodge Dakota RT, mostly stock. Got the Hellcoda, the Hellcat swap Dodge Dakota, the Viper ACR, and the SRT 10, all in here, which is what I wanted to accomplish for the day. The reason why I brought this thing in is it's not like I'm trying to preserve the paint by any means, but I mentioned that I do want to check what the ticking noise is on this. I'm hoping maybe it's just a lifter that we need to replace. I really don't know at this point, but might see if it's at least a lifter. If it's a lifter, we can swap it easy enough. If it's too deep in the engine, I do have a buddy that has a 5.9 that's good working order that I might just buy because he's gonna hook me up with it. So I might just buy that off him if it ends up being too much engine work, but if it's just something like a lifter, I might just replace it. So that's in here. So we'll dig into that on a separate video. We'll see what's going on with that. This will be hitting the track very shortly. Also, before that, I'm gonna give you guys some test hits too, so you guys can see what that thing does. Now that she's all mostly sorted out and now it is tuned. So this thing is a monster, boys. I haven't been able to drive for the last, it's been like 3 weeks now because it's waiting for that drive shaft, but now it's all sorted out. So be able to show you guys what she does and lots more on the way. So let me know what you guys want to see more of. I think you guys will be liking the track content and some of the test hits that we're going to be doing. So that's going to be pretty fun. Get us out of the shop a little bit and more into having some fun. So looking forward to it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys on the next video.